You know that feeling when you're trying to price your offers and you just freeze up. Or when you look at your bank account and wonder why it's not growing as fast as you'd like. Well, today we're diving into those money mindset blocks that might be holding you back. I'm thrilled to have Audrey Faust on the show today. Audrey is a financial business coach dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs by giving them confidence and clarity with their business finances. We chat about how our subconscious beliefs affect our business decisions, why it's crucial to price your services confidently, and some practical tips for reprogramming those pesky limiting beliefs. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's jump into this enlightening conversation about money, mindset, and making your business thrive. Welcome to the Blissful Biz podcast, the show where we explore how to build an online business that's simple, sustainable, and profitable without the hustle and no matter your age. I'm your host, Susanne Reicher, and my mission is to help you package your expertise and create a blissful, highly profitable online business that aligns with your passions and values. In this podcast, I share practical, actionable advice as well as insights from my own business journey and the valuable lessons I've learned building my online business. If you're ready to build a business that brings you both bliss and success, you are in the right place. Hey, Audrey, welcome to the Blissful Biz podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks, Susanna. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do.
Sure. Audrey Faust, and I have over 25 years in accounting and finance experience. I've worked as a fractional CFO in the past, and now I'm working with clients, coaching clients around understanding their numbers of their business as well as the money mindset that often holds us back. And I coach them one-on-one, and I have a new mastermind coming out as well that I'm super excited about called She Grows Profitable. And yeah, it just warms my heart because I like to say women, well, anybody for that matter, gets into business because they have a gift in something, right? And most of the time, that gift is not around the numbers. That just comes with the business anyway, right? So, and we beat ourselves up a lot of times. Women beat themselves up because they don't know or they don't understand.
It's such an important topic. I'm really, really excited to talk to you and to have this on our podcast here. I feel it's just like this afterthought for a lot of entrepreneurs, like new entrepreneurs. I mean, I share things like a spreadsheet with my clients as well to get them started. And then when you go you on this entrepreneurial journey and suddenly you realize, oh my God, there are all those mindset blocks and what's going on here is this road of self-discovery, I always call it. I think I learned more about me since, starting my business than
100%.
before working like 15, 20 years. And it's amazing. I never want to stop learning. And so money mindset.
Yes.
I think it's such a fascinating topic. I was really when I heard first about that, I was like, oh, wow. I didn't even know that this is a thing, that this is something that could affect me. So how does it show up most often for your clients?
So I'm also a certified neurocoach, so I've learned a lot about the brain science behind all of this.
Wow.
And our subconscious, well, we have 80,000 thoughts per day, and 95% of those are run by our subconscious. And our subconscious was formed, most of it was formed before the age 7. So I like to say we literally have a 7-year-old running our business. So if you think about any of the things you were exposed to as a child around money, like the beliefs that your parents had or whoever was influential on you when you were young. You're like a sponge. You just kind of take all that in, right? So, and then you get to carry that around with you the rest of your life. So, one thing that my mother used to always say is, I work hard for my money. So that my subconscious translated that into, I have to work hard for my money, right? So hard work became like a thing for me. I would burn myself out time and time again because I was such a workaholic and I thought I had to work hard to make money. So until I reprogrammed that thought pattern to be like, okay, well, that's not necessarily true. Um, and all of these types of things, whether it's, it was very interesting because I was speaking at a mastermind last week. And one of the girls at the mastermind, I have this little exercise. You can actually get it on my website. It's a 20-minute audio. But when I speak inside of groups, I do it live. So I was speaking live at this mastermind, and the girl that was there had a belief that rich people were mean. Okay. And she said, in the past, I've done all those mantras, I've done this, I've done that, but I've never stuck with it. I was doing mantras and money was coming in. I started seeing it. It was really great. And then all of a sudden I stopped doing it. And she was like, and I didn't know why. And I'm like, because you have the belief that rich people are mean. So if you have that belief, in your subconscious, you're not going to want to be rich. And you're going to keep yourself from making too much money because that belief is in there, because you don't want to be mean. And you can, replace that word with greedy or selfish, or there are a lot of different ones. So, and, like I said, there's 5 different questions that I have on my audio that you can download from my website. And you can also put it in the show notes that will help you find out if you got anything in there that's really going to sabotage you in the end, because you don't want to be mean or greedy or selfish or any of that. So does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
think I heard that. Yeah, I think that's a common block. And it's so interesting. I'm more an analytical person. I believe in the strategy, but being an entrepreneur really opened me up, and before becoming a yoga teacher as well.
Oh yeah.
To everything, all that mindset things, that it really has to work together. It doesn't make
It
sense
does.
just to manifest and to start believing, and and if you don't really take action and create, for example, a premium offer.
Right.
So
No,
it
exactly.
has to work together, but I'm one of those people who are really struggling then to see the importance of the mindset work, not really doing that sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes with money mindset, I was struggling to really identify what would be my money mindset block. I'm like, I have no problems with rich people. Money was always there when I was growing up until my mother struggled, but then I was older already and she still had enough money. But yeah, so I'm just like, my problem is really to getting to that next level of more than just being okay with money, just having
Yeah.
so. And I'm not, I can't really figure out why that is.
Well, there might be a block in there for sure. And sometimes your conscious brain is thinks one thing, like you're saying, I don't have a problem with rich people, but your subconscious may. So
Yeah.
when you do the audio exercise that I have online, you actually need to, the first word that comes to your mind, you need to write that down, and that's what's in your subconscious. So I mean, with we out digging deeper or whatever, we could figure that out, but there probably is something in there that, and sometimes it's not as black and white as that. It could be an experience that you've had. So, for instance, I worked with another girl, Deb, who had, I have 5 questions on that audio. She got positive answers for every single one of them, but she knew there was something in there, right? She's like, I know I need to work with you because I know there's something in there. She's like, and she had a lot of money. She was very wealthy. She goes, but every time my husband goes to the store and comes home with too many rolls of toilet paper, I get angry that he spent too much money. And she goes, so I know there's something in there. What's wrong? And we dug, through a couple of coaching sessions, we dug deeper and deeper. And what had happened is she had a family member. I think it was her, so like her grandparent on one of her sides. So one of the sides was like old money, and one of the sides was new money. So the new money side must have had their own money mindset block because they sold a business, they had all this money, and they retired early and they blew it all. And then they started coming to the family members, for including her, for money because they blew all this money that they had, and all of a sudden they're old now and they don't have any money and they need help. So she was like worried about that happening to her, that would happen to her. So like that's what we uncovered finally after a few sessions, that like, okay, that's where it is. And then the trick to reprogramming that is to finding evidence of the opposite, why that wouldn't happen to you, why, so we worked on that as well.
It's so fascinating. Yeah, I think for me, it might be like when I was growing up and we were living in a really nice part of town, and I was like in a sailing club, and there were all those old money rich people, and I didn't really belong to them. I felt like I felt like I didn't belong there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents, they were like, my mother was divorced, so I didn't have that big family thing where you feel like you have that validation just for being in that tribe in a way. So I know they have all their own problems, but it felt like that way.
Of course,
of
course.
That's
And
so
it could have been
interesting.
something that even your mom said or did when you were around those people that got in there, right? And you don't even know it's in there. So that's the crazy part, that you really, because your subconscious runs so many of your thoughts, but you think about it, it runs like brushing your teeth, it runs tying your shoes. There's things you don't even have to, like getting dressed, you don't even really have to think about. You just do it, right? So the brain is lazy.
I think,
And
what
it
I'm
likes
struggling
easy.
there sometimes is it's this feeling like you can't control that. And then you have to put so much work into and it's like you're never enough. There are all those things that are wrong with you. So, and that's why you are not succeeding. You know what I mean? That's how it comes across. But so
Yeah,
let's,
and yeah, it's actually easier than you think it is to reprogram your subconscious. So you can do it a couple of different ways. I like to use a brain prime because it's just a little audio you create with that you listen to for like 3 months, twice a day, and when you get up, like first thing in the morning, and then before you go to bed at night. And it just kind of reiterates those beliefs. Because if you think about it, like those things are in there deep, and you've been carrying them around for a long time. So it is going to take a little bit of work to get them out. The other way you can do it is see it, say it, write it. So 2 to 3 times a day for the next 70 days. So like if you see it, say it, write it a couple times a day, repetition gets in your subconscious. So it's doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take commitment.
I love it. I'm
With
definitely
some of
going
the
to
amazing
check out the
things that,
audio. Yeah, we're at the link to the show notes, guys.
yeah.
So when it comes to money mindset, I think one of the biggest ways how it shows up is probably pricing your
Oh,
offers,
yeah.
right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that my clients, because most of them are, most of them are women, and all of them are business owners. And women, I don't know, could be true for men too, but we like to decide for somebody what we think they're going to afford or not afford. And actually just did this myself this week. And there was somebody I really, really, really wanted to work with. I really just kind of clicked with her. and she was just starting her business out. And typically I work with women when they're right around like 6-figure mark and they're like hitting that block. Why can't I get past this? Why can't, I don't understand any of these numbers, all of that. But this girl, I had talked at a mastermind she was a part of, and she came to me, and I was like, I knew she was just starting out, and I was like, I don't think she can afford my pricing. I offered it to her. I sent her a follow-up email, but before I did that, I was in the back of my head thinking, oh, should I make a smaller package for her? Should I do this or do that? I'm like, wait a minute. She didn't say no yet. So I'm like, but as women, we often do that. We want to decide for our clients what we think they can or can't afford. I don't know. Maybe she has the ability to afford it. So I have another client that got I work with a few interior designers. This one particularly is a guy, and he was working with a contractor. So he's a very famous interior designer. So people come to him to design their nightclubs and stuff. And people come to him, and then he goes and finds the contractor. So he found a contractor, and the contractor sent the price to him, and it included a commission for him because that's just the way it goes. He gets the commission, he found the business. So typically his commission was 10%. So when he saw the price that the contractor was giving him, he said, oh gosh, my client's not going to pay that. Just reduce my commission to 5%.
Mm.
Then they presented it to the client, and the client didn't bat an eyelash, but didn't have any issues with the price. So I guess there's a guy who did it too, right? So I guess we all do it. But yeah, it's we like to, and he's like, I'll never do that again. I'm like, I'm glad you learned your lesson. So, but yeah, it's we like to think and decide for our clients what they can or can't afford. And sometimes they can't, and maybe it's not the right clientele for you. Like I said, I normally work with 6-figure business owners. This one was not, even though I had a real personal connection to her. Maybe maybe it isn't the right fit. So there's that too.
Yes, I learned that from my mentor. Stay out of your client's wallet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's true. A lot of my clients, also listeners to my podcast, are yoga teachers. And a lot of them struggle with so many limiting beliefs when it comes to money. There's this belief that yoga should be free, that you shouldn't create, you shouldn't price too highly. It should be available for everybody. And it takes a lot of work. I mean, I feel like it's getting better because it's so much more visible, people who are successful in that niche as yoga teachers.
Yeah.
And there's something for everybody. Where would you start? Where do you start with a client who comes to you so this low ticket membership, for example, model that could work with somebody who has a huge audience and is the celebrity, and they get thousands of people into their fitness membership. But when you're just getting started and you have a tiny audience or no audience, and you set up your $20 a month membership, competing with even cheaper ones out there with bigger names,
Yeah.
you're not getting anywhere. And they're still struggling to charge more for more premium services, like one-on-one 3-month packages or something. Where would you start there? How would you coach someone there? Can you give us a little bit, a mini coaching?
Well, I don't have any yoga teachers, so but here's an instance where I coached one of my clients, Shayna. She is an entertainer. So I focus around profit, right? So Shayna's an entertainer, she's a singer, and she travels all over the world to sing. Some of her things aren't super profitable, but when, we talked about it, she says, well, when I do this thing that's not super profitable, I get all these other ones that are because those people saw me there, right? And I'm like, okay, I get that. So it's more of a marketing piece than necessarily So, but she wanted, she was kind of like, well, I'd like to figure out how to charge something for like when I'm home. And she was doing like a little bit of teaching slash coaching singers, but she was just charging like $100 an hour. And I hate the dollar for hour exchange, right? And she was so not excited about that. And I'm like, okay, huge following on Instagram because she's a singer. And I was like, okay, so like what, we kind of talked, well, what doesn't appeal to you about it? What's this? What do you want to do? So we kind of like worked through and created a coaching package for her that she felt like it was only 2 weeks long, right? So she could take a couple people in like a 2 week period and coach them on how to create a singing business, right? That's what we came up with. And she just went out on Instagram. She told everybody about it. She had got a couple clients just from doing that. Boom. And this coaching thing was born. So I would say when you're in like a yoga class like that, you are competing against those other low tickets. But maybe there's something else you can do in that form, whether it's coaching, right? Health coaching or something like that that could bring you in additional revenue in a different format where it's not just, yoga class, right? Maybe it's breath work. Maybe it's, something else, self-care, something else where you get to coach
Let's
something
go
else
back
that
to
you're
the
not like looked
pricing
at.
there. Yeah. How would you like teach somebody
Okay.
then to come up with a price for a coaching package?
Well, what I say is go with the highest number that you can say confidently.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's like so for instance, let's go back to Shayna the singer. So her most profitable month is like December. She has a huge gig in December, and I'm not going to give numbers just because it's not fair to her. But and I'm like, well, you get that much in 2 weeks, right? I'm like, for doing that huge gig. So that's your value. I'm like, not $100 an hour, 2 weeks for that much, right? And so then I'm like, okay, I'm like, so what do you think? What do you think it's worth? Think about you when you were back at where this person was. Okay. How much would you have given for your knowledge, for your expertise to get you to where you want to go? She's like, these people were struggling to book themselves on any kind of a singing gig. And if they have a mentor that can show them in 2 weeks how to do it, like how much is that worth, right? That changes their lives. So she started out at a number, and I was like, okay. I push her. I just push her till I can hear it in her voice, where like she's no longer confident, and then I kind of back it up a little, and now the second time she loved it, absolutely loved it. And the other thing is, when people invest a good amount of money, they're going to get the results because they invested the money, right? So I like to use this like example. If you have a $25 ticket to a sporting event, and you just don't feel like going. You had a hard day at work. It was stressful. You're like, I don't even really want to go. $25 is not a big deal, right? Let's say you bought a ticket for a gala and it's $2,500, right? Are you going to not go to that gala that was $2,500 versus the $25 ticket? So that, the more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to show up and you're going to get better results. So a lot of people don't always understand that. They kind of just look at the investment or the cost. But there's this motivational factor when you invest at a higher price point that you're actually going to do it and you're going to move forward and you're going to get results. So,
Yes, I love that.
yeah.
I also love that. Yeah, I think as a coach, we can't tell someone you should ask for this price because you really have to feel it. You have to be confident asking for it to really having people like say the number. I think I've never done that. I think I'm going to steal that. That's an amazing,
Absolutely.
amazing
All
practice.
yours.
Right. So, but I teach the same. I teach my clients to really like sit with the different numbers. How does it feel in your gut? How does what is
Yeah.
your intuition telling you? And then I would probably always tell them, like when you're just like in between, I would probably push you to go a little bit outside of your comfort zone, because
Yeah.
as women, we so often tend to undercharge and
Yeah.
undervalue.
All the time.
So a little bit, you can get there, or start with a lower
Yeah.
price and already plan to increase it over
Yes,
time like that.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, but that's
Yeah,
great.
so in
That's
her
really.
second offer, she's almost doubling it. Like the second time she's offering
Mm,
it, I got her to almost double because I said, because she came back to me after those 2 weeks, Shayna, and she was just like, "Oh my God, these are all the amazing results I got for my clients," and she was so excited. And she's like, "I can't wait to do it again." And I'm like, "Yes, that's what I want." Not like, "Oh, I could do $100 an hour for teaching somebody this or that," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 like." I want you to be excited about it because you're not, that's the only way it's going to work both ways. So she was excited about it. She gave them 150%. And now, like I said, okay, now, like, if that was you and you got those results, like, what would that have been worth to you? And now
mhm.
she increased it even more for the next time she does it. So,
I love
yeah,
that.
you just
Yeah.
keep going on.
Like when you launch a new offer for the first time, this is just the beginning. It's like not where
Yeah,
it ends. Yes.
just the
That's
beginning. Yeah, you can
that's
always go up.
amazing. I love that we have all those opportunities these days, that that you can just like with your computer build something, reach people from all over the world, and that
Yeah.
people are open to really learn anything online, singing, how to become like a
Yeah.
successful singer, or how to, I don't
Yeah.
know, take care of goats. There's everything is online.
Right?
Yeah,
I know. It's great.
I think it's incredible. It's like that. I know that my mother, she retired early when that would have been an option back then. She would have built this amazing online business, 100%.
Oh, that's cool.
Didn't happen though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a different world. It's fun. I mean, I got on into building an online business about oh, 5, 6 years ago, I guess it was. Yeah. And at first I was like really against it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And now I love it. So
So what did you want to see clients like in person only, or what was your
Well, so I
plan?
had, before I started coaching and creating this online business, I had a done for you CFO business. So
Okay.
I was doing the accounting work. So, and my clients were usually local. I wasn't getting them online. They were all referrals and things like that. So, yeah, like I never, like it was only about 5 years ago when I stumbled across James Wedmore
Mm.
that I actually thought, oh, and I like somebody had to twist my arm to buy his program because I'm like, I don't want an online business. What do I want that for? And then like that's kind of where it was born, and then it went from
Wow.
there.
That's amazing. Yes, I was on your summit. Actually, one of my clients,
Yeah.
she told me she loved that interview with James Whitmore. So I just wanted to share that with
He's
you.
such a
I
value.
think, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he gave so much value, and he always does. That's what I love about him. He just gives and gives and gives. Like he'll have like in his community, he'll have like an hour coaching call or 2 hour coaching call scheduled. He'll go for like 3, 4, 5 hours. It's
Mm.
crazy. I've never seen anybody do that. So, but yeah, you can tell he loves it.
Yeah, for 100%. And I think he got over his money mindset blocks.
Yeah, right. He's 8 figures now.
Yes, I've done something right.
He did something right. He made it to 8 figures. I mean, that's pretty good with an online business,
And
right?
he started as like a
Um,
barkeeper and then doing a course, I think, for
yeah,
barkeepers. Yeah,
bartender. Yeah,
so funny.
he did a
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, he did a
Mm.
YouTube course for how to make more money as a bartender. It's crazy, crazy where the world takes you.
Yeah, there's so many amazing stories, really. And like when you're listening to this and you're just like getting started or thinking about getting started, just do it. Just take that step.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
forever, but just get started. Put out that offer, put up a price to it, and then sit with it. And I think you're like with mindset, the first step is always, I think, awareness. To really like be aware
Yes,
that, yeah,
100%.
there might be something going on. Why am I not showing up? Although I was committed to doing a live and everything, like, why is it not happening? Why I'm not sharing content? Why don't I want to send out that email to pitch myself to other people's podcasts or whatever it is? Why is that?
Yes. Yeah. So if you know who Bob Proctor is,
Mm,
one of the things that he said he's very like, I don't know, success oriented guru, woo, all that. But one of the quotes that I love from him is he's all about mindset too, is success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. And I truly believe that. And we all tend to think it's the opposite, right? We all tend to think if I just had the strategy, if I just had the strategy. But really what's going to get you through all of it is the mindset.
mm,
And keeping that positive mindset up, keeping that like momentum going and really believing in yourself that
yeah,
you can do it
I
is
think, yes,
huge.
this unwavering, the energy that you put out there, how you show up in your business really as the leader. And I think also, have you read that book, Grit? I don't know the author. It's
Yes.
just called Grit. It's really that.
Duckworth.
And
Yep.
it's like when you
Somebody
look,
Duckworth, Angela?
yeah,
Yeah.
Angela Duckworth, I think.
Yeah. Hmm.
And when you think about those famous people like Mozart, he didn't just like show up and suddenly make amazing music. He like practiced
Yeah.
since he was a little kid every single day for hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours. So sometimes, yeah, it says like
Yeah.
all has to come together. I think that has to come together with the mindset, with the strategy.
Hmm.
It's like all those things. Yeah, it's a
Yeah. Could
lot.
you imagine if he gave up? So the
Yeah,
mindset is important because he could have just given up at some point,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's,
And I learned that
yeah.
from a lot of like really successful entrepreneurs too that I talked to. Very often they really had that phase or a few years where they went 100% all in, only focus on their business, only focus on that goal really. Before then they
Yeah.
eased up and realized, oh yeah, they like you have to work, you have to work, you have to work to be rich. And I think it can be
Yeah.
helpful. It can be helpful. But I also know those stories where then they stopped doing that and they were still as successful, still getting the
Yeah.
same results. So, oh my God, it's so difficult. What should you do? Should you just like ease up? That's what I'm
Right?
doing now. I'm just like living the slow life, slow living in Mallorca, going to the beach every day. I'm not working 10 hours a day.
Oh, jealous.
But to be honest,
That
I'm
sounds
not really seeing
lovely.
the same results as I did like back in the day. But it's not, but then I wasn't really working more too in it. So it's like different things coming together. It's like, yeah, it's just like I think we are just all probably have to meditate more and journal more. What's really going on?
Yeah. Sounds
What?
good. I don't know. You can do that on the beach, right? It's my favorite place to meditate and journal is on the beach.
And listen to your audio, at least tackle your money mindset issues, and then you become aware of all the other mindset blocks, and you go there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your mindset's like an onion. Just when you think you've like, oh, I got it, it's like, no, no, new level, new devil. Like here goes a whole nother layer. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's so true.
So, yeah,
That's so true. But that's the amazing thing as well, as being an entrepreneur, that you really never stop learning and never stop improving as well. And I think that's so wonderful. I wouldn't want to be in a job where it's like the same. Nobody gives you feedback. It's just like you just go there every day. I think that's where people really slowly die inside and retire years and years and years before their official retirement because they're not the
yeah,
challenge
no,
anymore.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever go back to corporate.
Me, no, never going to
Not in
happen.
me.
I would have to leave my island. That's not going to
Not in
happen.
me.
Well, that was really such a nice conversation. Is there anything
Yes, I
else
had a
that I
lot of
should have
fun
asked
today.
you that you want to share?
I think we touched on a lot of it. So
Great.
most of what,
So where
I
can
work on.
where
So yeah.
where can people go to learn more about you?
So I have a free resources page on my website. Audrey Faust Consulting is my website.com/free resources. And you can get that money mindset audio download. It's like a 20-minute audio that you listen to. I'm going to ask you 5 questions and then I'm going to tell you how to reprogram it all in that 20 minutes. There's also a couple of financial calculators on there, net worth calculator and investment calculators. There's also a strategy call on there. So there's lots of little freebies on there, whatever floats your boat. And I'm on Instagram at Great With Money, Facebook at Great With Money, and you can find me on LinkedIn too. I'm all over the place. So
Well, thank you. I'll add the link to your website to the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time.
thanks, Suzanne. I had a lot of fun chatting. I appreciate it.